The seventh day of judicial corruption has begun after the seventh night of judicial corruption. Is a new dawn breaking, or is it just the old dawn? I can't say. It has been asked why I am claiming that judges did something wrong. Well, one judge elected without any good basis to exclude a psychological report ordered by a prior judge, done by the court psychologist, his very court psychologist, with the court psychologist in the courtroom at a temporary relief hearing, and then did everything to prevent whatever defect he secretly thought was in it from being cured. He wanted to avoid the psychological evaluation due to its damning effect upon the alleged abuser. It was very, very horrendous to believe what the psychologist had indicated, but it was true from the professional perspective. The judge at the William Kennedy Smith rape trial may have done something intentionally wrong, or maybe it was the prosecutor, by waiting to make a ruling that needed to be made prior to the jury being sworn in, and in fact it was made after the jury was sworn in and jeopardy had attached. No competent prosecutor would have provided the motion after the jury had been sworn in. I do not know how long that motion was pending, but the judge had a duty to rule upon that prior to the jury being sworn in, so that an immediate appeal could be made, because the evidence that was attempting to be presented was crucial to showing the bad faith, the bad intent in the past of William Kennedy Smith. Those kinds of rulings can totally dismantle a prosecutor's case. In many personal injury cases, little rulings can add up to a major victory for one side or the other if the court is doing it intentionally to benefit only one side and doing it knowingly. It will be hard to prove in some of these cases, but in the cases I was involved in, it is easy to prove, because they denied the right to be heard, that very right that you get before a ruling's made in America. They made their ruling while the moving party was still attempting to convince the court to do something, and before I, as opposing party, was allowed to present all the evidence in opposition. That's so totally wrong. There are a variety of different ways judges have abused their power to the degree that it's been an intentional bad faith deprivation of fundamental due process rights. That's something for a jury to determine if an indictment is issued. And that will only take an investigation. And George Bush, Bill Clinton, Janet Reno, John Ashcroft, Alberto Gonzalez, and Robert Mueller have all failed to even do an initial inquiry as to what the goods are, what the evidence is of these acts. That's shocking. They're willing to jump when a congressman says jump to some degree. Alberto Gonzalez said on Sunday, public corruption is probably the worst poison to democracy, but he's allowing a large number of judges to get a free pass, all in one state. Why? Is it because Governor Jeb Bush was pushing it? I don't know, and I don't care. You don't have the right to fail to do your job on an entire class of individuals. I am asking for each of you to make this a new dawn. And you can only do this by making my message heard which is done by networking, by sending this out to anybody. Send out the link. It's right there for you to do so, to anybody in your address book that you dare send it to. Send it to a few you don't dare. Be brave. If only I could get this message heard, there would be a new dawn in America, starting in Florida, and maybe continuing throughout various states that need their judicial systems swept clean of judges who have sold their judicial prerogative to litigators for high personal injury judgments and for anything else that they're willing to buy and sell. That's all for the seventh night and the seventh morning, and hopefully the new seventh dawn.